In Enugu, Nigeria, a transportation revolution is underway. The state government is rolling out a bold new plan to transform the city's commute with the introduction of a modern bus rapid transit system. But as with any major change, there are winners and losers. Tricycle operators, yellow bus drivers, and minibus owners are feeling the squeeze as they are restricted from major highways. Join me as we navigate the fast lane of Enugu's transportation transformation and explore the impact on the city's commuters, entrepreneurs, and economy. This is the Eastern Eye. I am Alex Obodo. Welcome to the Eastern Eye, a program that x-rays the political, social, and economic developments around us. Joining me tonight is Prince Eje Josh. He's the Senior Special Assistant to the Enugu State Governor on Research and Publications. Thank you so much, Prince Eje Josh, for joining me tonight on the Eastern Eye.
Thank you, Alice, and good evening.
I mean, the news filtered yesterday that the tricycle drivers, Keke, if you like, the minibus drivers and the yellow buses will have to find new routes. And from the announcement or from the release, a meeting has been held. And I'm quite curious, and of course, in the days to come, we'll engage the transport unions on what their thoughts are on this. So let's come to the point where government had to come to the conclusion that this is what needs to be done. Because first of all, already the tongues are wagging, if you like. So talk to us about how the government arrived at this decision.
Thank you, Alice, for that. Well, like you said, tongues are wagging. I mean, and when we look at these tongues that are wagging, they are definitely not the people of Enugu State, or definitely people from outside, and people who were not informed about this. Now, the discussion about this policy had been ongoing, I mean, for quite a number of months, and it's since last year, 2024. So, Alice, you will recall that in December, January, February, and March, that the news about this reform actually filtered the airwave, and government had to address some of the concerns raised by transporters. And I think I was here too on different occasions to speak on the policy. So I laid the fear of members of the public that nobody is going to lose his or her job. No transporter is going to be displaced. It is a win-win. In every modern society, there must be change. What is constant is change, and that is what we are having in Enugu State today. So this discussion of and before the discussion, you recall that it is even in the governor's manifesto about restructuring the transport system. I mean, upgrading it from the primitive, archaic system to a modern system that is convenient for the people, comfortable for the people, and that is also cost effective, that makes life worthwhile, worth living. So that is what has culminated to what happened yesterday. So the government had the buy-in of different transport unions. Talk about the tricycle, the Keke, that is Amalgamated Tricycle Riders Association of Enugu State. We had the Road Transport Employers of Nigeria, Enugu State. We also have the Road Transport Union of Nigeria, Enugu State. So they had all bought into this policy. So it is a win-win for everyone. Nobody is going to be displaced. So, and government has also created alternative for this, and that was how the government actually arrived at the policy for the people of Enugu State, for everybody, for you, for me, and for members of the public to enjoy their life, and of course to have a seamless transport system, unlike the chaotic, the disorganized system that we're presently having. Go to Albany Road, go to Gariki, go to Enugu'S here, go to Abakpa. You imagine if you're going from here to Gariki, you spend like an hour, sometimes you spend 2 hours because of the chaotic nature of the transport system. So the government, the administration of Governor Peter Mbah says, no, we cannot continue like this. So if you have to build the Enugu of our dream, we have to get another unorganized transport system.
All right, so that's taken, but let me draw your attention to the tricycle riders who, for the longest, have been operating at the major roads. And now this is a news flash. That's where the big money is. They're getting patronage by taking someone, say, from Okpara Avenue to Ogui Road or to New Haven. So if you say that someone who picks a passenger from Okpara Avenue cannot go to New Haven or to Bisala Road or to Naira Triangle, it means that if he used to roll in an account of 10,000 Naira a day, that may sharply drop to 2,000 Naira.
Well, Alice, I think with this transport model, they are going to make more money now.
You think?
Because we have more streets, thousands of streets.
But that's where the problem is, because the people are not heading to those streets.
They do. They do, Alice.
Just a minute. People, in the morning, people are leaving from their streets to the workplaces. And the places you have the biggest businesses, Okpara Avenue, Ogui Road, New Haven, Bisala Road, Independence Layout, that's where people move to. Presidential Road, Ogui Road. These are the places people move to, Okpara Avenue. So if you say that the Keke riders can no longer go there, obviously they are sacrificing something. So my question is, how will they get it back? I want the, in clear terms, if a Keke rider picks someone, let's hazard a guess, maybe let's use Asata for instance. If you pick someone from Church Road and wants to take the person to New Haven, there's no way you will get to New Haven without using a major road.
Well, Alice, yes, this a very important question, but I will answer it this way. You spoke about Asata.
Again, yes. Sorry, because I'm asking this question because at the end of the day, it's looking like this scenario is a ban. It's a ban on tricycle because if you cannot, and some of them have their three-wheel contraption on hire purchase. The moment they can no longer raise money enough to pay for those things, they are out of business.
Okay, Alice, let's look at this way. You made mention of Asata, because I know Asata very well.
You do?
Yes. So, let's say a passenger actually bought Keke, the tricycle, from that Asata going to New Haven. Now, it is very, it's a straightforward thing. Now, from Asata, you take Lagos streets, you get to Blessed Sacrament in Independence Layout, make a crossover at the past Kanjek.
Would they let you cross?
Yes, you're not going to fly. So what happens is that now the system has been designed.
Okay, fine. If you cross over, how do you get to New Haven?
Beautiful. So we have Intershosa, take the Intershosa, navigate through Government House, taking that street down to the bypass to New Haven Primary School. It's a straightforward thing, Alice. So I think I know almost all the major streets in Enugu, and we've sat down, the administration has sat down, made the design in such a way that it's going to be a win-win for everyone. So nobody is going to be displaced. And don't forget that the administration is also rolling out thousands of taxis. So for those that couldn't cope, they have to switch over. The alternative has been provided. That is the win-win deal there. Unlike when we had this Okada motorcycle, where it was an outright ban from the the capital. It is not like that. This time around, people can go through the street, and you stay at the front of your house. You flag down Keke, and the Keke takes you to the major road where you take the BRT bus. Simple as that. We have too many streets. When you get to Independence Layout, you have too many streets that these BRT buses can't ply. So it's just like a valuation where we have different players that play in it. So the minibuses have their own role, the Keke, the tricycles have their own role, and the taxis have their own role, and the BRT buses, that is CNG buses, have their own role. So all these aggregates, play major role or significant role in the valuation. So everybody is going to win at the end of the day.
So what is the government offering? What is the government offering? Because already the minibuses will also disappear from the major roads. And where would they apply? Because I used Keke to start, the tricycles, and now let's get back to the issue of the minibuses. You've shown me how someone moving from, say, Church Road to New Haven, the person can navigate. If somebody is on a minibus, so our streets, our inner streets will be turned into a minibus festival area or something.
Well, that is even better, and it makes life convenient for our people. Just imagine somebody trekking for 20 minutes to access, and that has been the plight of our people today in Enugu. Some would even trek for 30 minutes to access the city highway, in order to get mini buses, or in order to get other form of transport vehicles. So now everything will be at their beck and call, at their doorstep. So it makes transportation easier for our people, takes transport down to their doorstep. Just imagine, Alice, this is what is obtainable in developed climate, where you come out from your house, you flag down a minibus or Keke, and the Keke takes you to the next bus stop where you're going to board the BRT bus. That is beautiful. It's a fantastic model, and it's a win. So it gives private transporters more money.
All right. So the Enugu State Government, I'm reading from the statement, so we don't misquote. The Enugu State Government has announced plans to restrict the operations of tricycles, Keke, yellow buses, and minibuses from 5 major highways across Enugu City, paving the way for the smooth implementation of the state's bus rapid transit BRT system. Of course, according to Dr. Obiozo, Commissioner for Transport, he said that there was a consultative meeting with transport unions and stakeholders at the Ministry of Transport headquarters. He listed the places to include the traffic corridors are Okbara Avenue, Abakaliki Road, New Haven Junction, Nara Triangle, Emene Airport, Ogui Road, Chime Avenue, Nara Triangle, and New Haven Junction, Bisala Road, Rangers Avenue, Wayak, Bokiti, Zix Avenue, and others include Ogui Road, Presidential Road, Bokiti, and the entire Abani Road stretch. You could have helped me with those roads while I was talking, but that is fine. Now, according to the commission, it said the BRT routes in line with Governor Peter Ba's vision to reposition Enugu as modern, multi-modal, and globally competitive city. But there is, of course, the concern here is that there are people who will obviously fall off the cliff. And I'm asking the question a second time. A meeting has been had. That meeting was had with the executives of the unions. One would think that an enlarged meeting was necessary because the executives might not necessarily be in a position to oppose government's policies. We hear this all the time that sometimes you have 18,000 Keke riders in the state. That's from the records I'm seeing here. 18,000 Keke riders. They are going to have it hot this period. Well, I don't know when it is starting. You will tell us whether government has announced a date of commencement for this.
Yes, Alex, good one. I understood that, yes, we have 18,000 Keke riders in the state. Just imagine we have 17 local government areas in Enugu State. And this policy only affected just 3 local governments out of the 17. So we have 14 whooping local government left where Keke can,
Yeah, but
where
most of the Keke are operating
and mini buses can actually operate freely, unrestricted. And of course, we have large communities, semi-urban and urban areas. Talk about Nsukka, talk about Uden, talk about Enugu'S, talk about Igbeze South. So some of those areas are either urban or semi-urban that are economically viable. Talk about Ogu, talk about Admani, and other parts of Oji River, Iziagu, Ninth Mile. We have too many markets, unexplored markets where these people can also explore. So, like I mentioned earlier, nobody is going to be displaced. Just Abakpa, how many thousands of in fact, and the transport system we have today, the vehicles, the Keke available, they are underserving our people, because of the population we have. Over 2 to 3 million people make use of transportation daily. So just imagine. So these BRT vehicles are just to complement what we already had on ground. Not only to complement, we're also expecting like 3,000 to 5,000 electric taxis, hybrid taxis. And for those who couldn't cope, maybe the Keke riders, and that's part of the agreement. For those who couldn't cope, they switch over. They switch over and take up these vehicles for themselves. So it is very easy for them. Government is providing the enabling grant to ensure that nobody is displaced, nobody loses job. Everyone is at par. Because government also knows or the stance that these are family people who are going to feed their family, pay for school fees. And so it was well thought out. And now you spoke about there should have been enlarged meeting. Like I told you, the engagement is not a one-off thing. Government started engaging with transporters since last year, 2024. So, and they bought in. Government has also made them, spoken to different unions, and the union leaders who were there the other day, they were just significant representatives of these associations, because members of the associations elected their leaders. So they had confidence in them. That was why they elected them, to speak for them. If they had no integrity, at the time they were campaigning, they couldn't have elected them. If they did have confidence in these people, at the time of campaign, they could have elected for other people. So these people spoke for them. And there was a gentleman agreement. What happened yesterday was just a mere fulfillment of what had started for a long time. The arrangement, the design, everything had been made. So it is a guarantee that nobody is going to lose out. Nobody's job is going to be taken away.
Yeah, you've been saying that, but you know that there is a way competition will hit you. You can't compete. Let's talk about what the government is offering, which is the whole issue here. The government wants to do its thing. This is what this is about. The government has buses. It wants to bring in taxis, and the government wants them to ply in the juiciest routes. That's what it is about. So, what are you offering the people that they didn't have before? And how is what the government is offering going to make the difference?
Okay, thank you. Alice, let me also say this again, that these five city highways are not the juiciest route, as you said. You know, it's for convenience and it's for modernity and it's for the comfort of our people.
Those are the highbrow areas. I mean,
No, no, no. I spend,
sorry,
see, I take a Keke down to office from where I live, and I hardly ply those routes that you just mentioned.
Josh,
I apply through the through the streets.
If, God forbid, if there is an unrest in those locations you've mentioned in Enugu, Enugu is certainly on a lockdown. Let's not go there. The question is, what is the government going to offer the people to really make them forget, according to you, the chaotic order that we had before?
Well, in terms of arrests, I actually doubt such thing will come up because
no,
let us not assume.
We are not assuming. I just made an instance, and that instance is just in the realm of imagination. It wasn't anything real. We are just talking about how busy and bustling those places can be. So the question is, what is the government offering the people using the CNG, using the sedan that will come in? We want to know what is in it for Enugu people that should make them conform to the new transport system that the government is selling.
Unless our people are already conforming, people are already patronizing the CNG vehicles or buses, and they are testifying. In fact, I think you should visit some of the transport terminals where passengers, being our people, board or patronize these CNG buses.
I have to add, I have my EJ card. I have my EJ card.
Oh, beautiful. Have you ever boarded it?
But because it's not, for now, it's not going my way. Maybe if I'm going to Suga, I can board it. But now I'm not going, it's not going my way. So continue with explanation.
Okay, now, the CNG buses are designed in a way that people feel comfort. I mean, for the rest of their journey, they enjoy every bit of it. Fully air conditioned, spacious. Sometimes you have internet facility at no cost. At no cost. So that is good. Governor Peter Mbah's administration is subsidizing this, and that is the promise of the government. The removal of the fuel subsidy, you know, due to the crisis, the economic crisis, it's generated. The governor rolled out the CNG buses. I mean, one of the first states in Nigeria to roll out the CNG buses, and this one is a peculiar transport model, such that you're going to Nsukka, you're going to Adwani, you're going to other places, Emene, Abotwa, just Gariki, what have you, you enjoy, you sit, nobody is dragging a space with you, nobody is standing or hanging. Just imagine this bagba. We call it bagba, where people sandwich, you know, you have like 200 people in that. It is unsafe. It is risky. But now, I've met people, I mean, I've met transporter passengers who share their experiences boarding these these CNG buses. So our people stand to gain a lot, and the transportation fare is reasonable compared with what is outside there in the market.
We'll take a break at this point on the Eastern. And when we return, we'll talk about the government 47% discount to cushion transportation costs for citizens. Stay with us. You're welcome back to the Eastern Ahia on Afia TV, a program that X-rays the political, social, and economic developments around us. I still have Prince Eje Josh here in the studio with us. Dr. also announced during the meeting with transport stakeholders that there's a 47% discount. For people who don't know what it's talking about, I don't know what that means. I don't know how much people were paid and how much they're going to be paid. So how would that change anything?
Yes, a lot. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, that people are already enjoying these discounts. Just imagine how much the transport fare from Enugu to In Suka, it was almost 4,000, but in Enugu, the CNG bus is like 1,800 or even less than that. So you can see that it's way below the market price, and this is designed. This is intentional. It's for the comfort of our people, to make life easier for the poor people, for the masses there on the streets. So it is really tickling down to the last mile, those who actually need that the most. So when you look at now the policy of the Governor Mbas administration, it's people friendly. Some will say the governor procured the plain Enugu air, so it's for the wealthy people. And I also remind them that the CNG buses are for everyone, especially the masses. They could easily afford that, where if you have to board maybe Keke is charging you 1,500, or minibus is charging you 1,200, CNG bus is charging you 500 naira. So can you see the discount? Can you see the gap? That is what this administration has come to do, to ensure that our people, and it helps the people to also save, from the money you could have paid as transport fare. You save, like half of that. You also have to channel it into other things that you are doing. So that is the discount. And when it comes to the rollout of the vehicles too, the taxis, the city taxis, like His Excellency has promised, it's also going to be affordable. Don't forget that these are brand new taxis. They are also consumption in terms of fuel, in terms of gas, friendly. Like we have one of these CNG hybrid taxi that we tested the other day. Just with 28,000 naira fuel, you could go to Anambra, to Imo, to Abia, come back to Enugu, you go again. You come back, you're still using the same fuel. So this is a game changer. This is innovative, and that is what this administration has come to do, and jettison the old way, do things differently for the people of Enugu State. I think instead of people being jittery, instead of people raising eyebrow, they need to ask questions, and that is why I'm here to clarify issues and also allay the fear that, see, this policy is for them, is for the people of Enugu State. There is no reason why this administration will take up or implement any policy that will not favor the people. The government is actually, when you look at the Constitution, Section 14, that the primary purpose of every government is the welfare of the people, and that is what this government of Mba is all about. Just look at the social policies. Look at the 260 smart schools. Free. Nobody is paying a dime. Look at the 216 type 2 primary health care. Look at the free training being given to the youth through the SMEs office. Look at the empowerment of the civil servant. Just look at the minimum wage, 80,000 naira. A non-oil producing state paying that amount. Look at the governor is not owing any pension. Since 2023 till date, even gratuity, aside the inherited ones. So governor is doing a lot. And look at our farmers today. Prices of goods, prices of food have come down. Drastically come down. Look at the investment the governor has made in agriculture. Free fertilizer, farming tools, and co. So these are all what we're looking. And of course, when you also come to the transportation system, what we're discussing about, the governor is talking, or the administration is talking about multimodal transport system, is for the benefit of Enugu people. For now, maybe because of misinformation or lack of communication, yes, or people may not get the picture clearer. When the administration of Governor Sullivan actually banned motorcycle then, or the Okada people, there was a protest, there was riot, said that, oh, this man has come to displace us. But then people are just, adjusted, because tricycles were rolled out, as alternative. So this why those who think that they cannot cope, on the street, they should gear up and start training themselves, making up their mind for this new, this innovation for the taxis, over 4,000 or close to 5,000. Just imagine who are the people that are going to make use of it. The same Enugu people. The same Enugu people. So the administration is not going to import people from outside, from China, from US to come. No, it's for our people. So that will also make life easier. If somebody is purchasing maybe 1,000 naira 1,000 naira gas a day, and is able to run around all the major routes that we've seen here. Just imagine and if you compare it with the normal or the conventional taxis, you are talking about somebody buying 50,000 naira, over 50,000 naira for it, but now you are buying like 1,000 or 2,000 naira, So it also beats down or brings down the price or transport fare. So this is what we're saying. We should commend this administration rather than people raising alarm or people trying to instill fear in the mind of members of the public.
Well, that's certainly not the case here. Okay, let's talk about the bus terminals, which has been built. But I have to tell you, it doesn't look like a lot has started happening inside those terminals. And in this statement, Obiozo is talking about that the government is regretting delays in allocating loading bays at the new transport terminals, noting that proposals are under review and will be finalized soon. Who's delaying the review?
This is a gradual process so that we won't repeat the mistake of the past. You learn lesson from past experience, right? And try to you improve on what we had in the past. When you look at the former Co-City shuttle, saw how that deteriorated over time. The Co-City shuttles were even unable to pay salaries of workers. They couldn't even sustain, the maintenance of those vehicles. So, why did we have, if that should be, why should government be maintaining, its, so I should not use some words, but it doesn't make sense, not economically viable. So when government now calls for this, that is going to be managed by private sector, but why is going to be managed, or these terminals are going to be managed by the private sectors? The government will also look at it from the people's angle. Now, there was an open bidding, from different companies, individuals. Is just like competition. So you need to review application, thousands of applications submitted. So it takes time to review them. You need to make background check, we call financial due diligence, legal due diligence, and look at the integrity of the company or the individuals you are conceding this to. Look at so a lot of these things. So the government is on it, and very soon, government is going to finalize. The terminals are going to become operational. Fully operational. Right. Some of the terminals are working, like the Holy Ghost, the first one, but not fully operational.
We know that the CNG buses are coming in and going out. But I need to draw your attention to something. And when the bus terminals were being built, the first thing I thought that there will be sanity at Holy Ghost. I have to tell you, there isn't sanity there. That place is still chaotic. And I hate to admit it, but I thought that's what the intention was. And anytime I find myself at home, in fact, you can't, on a normal day, want to just drive through Holy Ghost. It looks so ugly in the eye. And here's a fine edifice over there. but you have everybody submerged, the buses, everybody milling around, have shops by the road. I mean, what, what is it that needs to be done to actually sanitize that place? That place, Holy Ghost is like that, Gariki is like that. These are two places I am sure, at least where I've gone to. It just looks like there is no bus terminal there. People are still loading outside, everything so chaotic and so anarchical. Is this part of why government built the terminals, and why are those places still anarchical?
Thank you, Ernest. Again, these are some of the mischiefs that this administration came to correct, and that necessitated the modern terminal stations, the Oligos 1 and 2, the Gariki, the Awapa, and Soka, terminal stations. Now, the plan is to get these people out of the roads, and this policy now that the government is activating is part of the plan. Ensure that these people are out of the road, restores sanity in the transport system. So now, with the concessioning of this, of the management of these terminal stations, that is when they are going to be fully operational. All this will be cleared. All this will, those people that have been causing this anarchy or chaos in the transport system, they'll be cleared. So, and this is just a process. This policy is at the center of it. So when you get this Keke, you restrict them to streets, the minibuses and co. Solves part of the problem. And again, those other major transporters shortening outside the state and co. You get them inside the terminals. Sanity will be restored. So we're waiting, like the honorary commissioner rightly said, that the reviews are ongoing and very soon they're going to be finalized. So we've spoken to people that they should exercise a little patience. They've seen that the buses, the CNG vehicles are working already, going to ACU, going to UNTA, going to Nsoka, plying different routes, New Haven, Emene, and people are really enjoying it. So you can see the sanity coming back. So, but it's just to get this other minor problem fixed. They are quick fix once concessions are made.
Now, your concessions are referring to, because there are two things here: the intra-city operations, which involves the minibuses and the tricycle riders and the Keke, the Keke, and then there is intercity. There are people who are loading to take you to different parts of Nigeria, and currently the CNG buses, to the best of my knowledge, have not started intercity movement. Or has that started?
No. But there is a plan. It's just like when you look at, let me use the analogy of the Enugu'S. Enugu started with Enugu to Abuja and Enugu to Lagos to Abuja, and go. Now expanded its routes to Imo and other states. And if you get to Enugu, from Abuja to Enugu, and you're going to Imo, you are assured that you can still get flights Enugu Air from Enugu to Owerri. So that is the model that these CNG buses, the state tailors that to. Now, what happens is that more of the CNG buses are coming that will ply interstates. Enugu to Owerri, Enugu to Anambra, that's Sanitation, Delta State, and other states. So that's what this the policy part of the design in the policy. So if you are you are here in Enugu, you are going to Abakaliki, a CNG bus should be able to take you there. And that's why you see that Governor Peter Mba is actually fixing almost all the major roads in in the state. Look at the dualization of Enugu Abakaliki Federal Highway. It is being done by Governor Peter Mba. The Enugu, there is Ugogo, OP, Suka, Dua Carriageway, being done by Governor Peter Mba. And the aim is that this transport system, I mean, the vehicles can ply seamlessly. And when you also look at the streets, Governor Peter Mba has done a lot in terms of street or internal roads. We've done at least over 2,000 kilometers of roads that have been done already. You just go to Emene. I don't know whether you've been able to go to Emene. You've gone to Albany Road. You've gone to Independence Layout, New Layout. Almost all the internal roads. Now, Maryland, the interland there. Just somebody who is living at Monarch. Look at Monarch. People will trek for over 40 minutes to get to where they could take a Keke. So now with the road being fixed, now Keke people can, operate from there down to the major city highway. And, so it is a win-win situation. And I don't know, Alice, where you're living, if you have a good road, because governor is doing everything. When you also go to Transekulu, you see that almost all the internal roads are being fixed.
It just sounded like you're asking me whether there's a road I want fixed.
Yes, if there is, Alice, let me know, because when you also look at 2026 budget, you see that most of the roads are also there that have not been fixed.
Even if I want any road fixed, I'm not sure this is why I'm saying it, because it will look like I'm using the platform to get an undue advantage.
No, this is not an undue advantage. Alice, challenge us with the road you think the administration has not fixed. We're coming there.
You don't want to hear me now, Judge. But I understand that, the explanations you're giving. What we are saying is that the government should be a little more forthcoming with information. And that's what we want. The press release by the Commissioner for Transport has no timeline. There's no timeline. I mean, we need to mention it. The government did not categorically say that their plan to stop Keke from operating at certain areas in Enugu will start tomorrow, or it will start in January, or it will start in March. Did I miss something? Is it because I used glasses? There was no timeline there.
Anyway, Alice, definitely you didn't miss anything. A committee, recall that a committee was set up yesterday. So it's a review committee. It's just like between all that are government and also different union associations, the Road Transport Employers of Nigeria, the National Union of Road Transport Workers, the tricycle, that's Amalgamated Tricycle Riders of Nigeria. They are all the major stakeholders, members of the committee. In fact, they met today, and hopefully very soon they are going to come out with another communique that will finalize everything. Everyone, all these associations had already bought into the policy. They're happy with it. Or what they were demanding is that let their members be considered in the vehicles that the government will be rolling out. So we're just waiting for the finalization of the communique, and you get the date very soon. Everyone is happy about this policy, including this transport union. I can assure you.
Some of them, they don't seem to be happy.
Perhaps maybe.
I totally understand that in the heart of hearts, government might mean well, but just like asking a child who wants to be given an injection to relieve the effects of fever or malaria, it's an uphill task. Asking a child to submit their hand or their buttocks for an injection, it will take some struggle, but you have to pacify the child. So that's what I'm asking the government to do more of. We understand that, yes, government might mean well, but the people should also understand well. And they say faith cometh by hearing.
So, Alice, if I should leave this word, there is this thing I miss, and I should be quick to say it. Most of these Keke riders actually pose a greater threat to the security of the people. So we've heard of people being pushed out of Keke, being pushed out of minibuses on the highways, but on the streets, they are limited in terms of their speed. So they can that will reduce the risk of accidents, the risk of crime, and that was why this curfew of 9 p.m. by the previous administration was declared, and this administration even.
So, what if this comes into what the government plans comes into force? Will that curfew be lifted?
Well, the government is going to review the curfew. Definitely, government is going to review it and look at it from holistic point. This issue of security, and when you talk about security, you're talking about all the.
Well, I mean, if the minibuses and the Keke Napep no longer plow the major roads, what is there to review? I guess that's the big question.
Yes.
I have to thank you so much, Prince Eje Josh, for coming on the program tonight. Lots of things to talk about, but we'll wait until government really brings out a timeline for implementation, because currently it is still that government said it will.
Yeah, be sure of that. I was privy to the meeting today, and it actually went well. So we're just waiting for to reduce it into writing.
Yeah.
So that's just
my own is to engage the people more on all things. Well, at least the last time we checked, it is still a democracy.
Sure.
People should be engaged more, not just at the higher level. Sometimes the scope should be expanded.
Yes.
It helps the assimilation of whatever message.
So, Alex,
because there is a risk of third-party message transmission. We don't need to start.
Unless you know that Governor Mbas administration is running a very transparent, open government where you can source information at any time. We even have a dashboard where people can, you see. If we're talking about administration that is most people's friendly in Nigeria, you talk about the Governor Peter Mbas administration, because we have nothing. There's nothing to hide, and we're always transparent. So in dealing with members of the public, let me leave these words with you that I came all the way from office using the CNG bus, and I'm leaving. As I leave here, I'm going to trek down to the road there and board the CNG bus, because I've fallen in love with it, and that is what is happening outside the country. I mean, if our people, we can't continue to do things the usual way and expect a different result. We need to adjust. We're talking about a modern state, a modern city where things work, where everybody is happy. Look at the lifespan of Nigerians. I think we are 50 or 58. So with this transport, we are going to 70, 80 or 90.
We're totally out of time. Thank you so much, Prince Eje Josh, Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Research and Publication. Special Assistant. I'm sorry, but it looks like it's easier to say Senior Special Assistant. Don't mind me. Okay, thank you so much for coming on the program tonight.
Thank you, Alice. Thank you so much.
We'll be back here tomorrow sometime for another episode of Eastern Eye. I nearly said Straight Talk. But you can join me for Straight Talk on radio tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on Afia Radio 99.3. You can also listen live on afia993.com. My name is Alex Owodo. Good night.